In 2004, Walid Nasser al-Hammami, a 22-year-old young man from Tunisia, decided to migrate to Europe despite coming from a poor family and lacking a passport, visa, or any legal means to reach European countries. He resorted to the idea of burning, a term used to describe illegal sea crossings via small boats and rafts, a perilous endeavor that poses significant risks to the lives of many young Arabs. Despite knowing the dangers, Walid attempted to migrate this way more than 35 times. Each time, he was apprehended by maritime security forces or rescue teams and returned to Tunisia, only to try again. His family repeatedly tried to persuade him to stop risking his life, but he was determined to fulfill his dream of migration and search for a better future. On his 36th attempt, Walid successfully reached Italy after evading capture. He disembarked from the boat and swam to the shore, starting a new life in the coastal city of Genoa, where he initially slept in parks and public squares. Walid began searching for work to afford food, drink, and clothing, and eventually found a simple job that provided him with enough income to survive. Walid continued to work and moved between various jobs until he secured a stable position at a restaurant, where he worked for a year. He tried to apply for asylum, but the process was initially very challenging. Over time, he began to feel frustrated and hopeless as he realized that life in Italy was not as he had imagined. One day, Walid met a beautiful Italian girl, and a romantic relationship blossomed between them. Despite the difficulties, Walid decided to marry her, and with the support of her family, who provided him with a place to live, they got married. Walid contacted his family in Tunisia, informed them of the marriage, and promised that things would improve with the support of his wife and her family. After the marriage, Walid's life started to improve. He settled into his job, and over the years, he managed to stabilize his legal and financial status. By 2009, he had become the manager of a well-known restaurant. He rented a nice apartment for his wife, and they lived a stable life until things suddenly changed. Walid's wife began to change, disappearing from home for long periods. When he confronted her about it, she confessed to using drugs and expressed a lack of interest in staying with him. Walid tried to help her overcome her addiction, but he failed. Their life deteriorated, and his wife began to mistreat him and refused to give him the money he had saved and entrusted to her. The situation reached a breaking point when Walid asked his wife to give him the money he needed to return to Tunisia. She refused, telling him she had spent all the money on drugs and her lover, and demanded a divorce. In a moment of anger and despair, Walid confronted his drugged wife, and she struck him. In a moment of lost control, he stabbed her to death. Realizing what he had done, Walid called the authorities and confessed to his crime. He was arrested, tried, and sentenced to life imprisonment. Thus, Walid's life, filled with hardship and suffering, ended in tragedy. The hardships of his homeland were more merciful than the allure of a foreign land. As Walid paid the ultimate price for his dream, finding himself in the end in the darkness of a prison, far from his family and loved ones.
If you enjoyed this story and want more thrilling tales, make sure to subscribe to our channel Swift Tales and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for your support.